What's going on? So today what I have for you is my 3 favorite cars in dirt slash mixed surface racing from B class to S2. And if this video helps you out, consider giving me a like and subscribe, man. You know, it really makes my day when I see more subscribers and more comments, interaction with everybody. I love interacting with all you guys. So let's get right into it. So the circuit I'm using is the San Juan Egg Scramble. Here's my B-Class time. And the first car I'm going to show you is the 79 FJ40. I almost said FJ Cruiser. This car is out of the box. All you have to do really is throw on some tunes or throw on some parts, and it's pretty much already ready to go. There's like very little you have to do in the fine tuning to make it drivable. That being said, I don't think this is the best tune out there. My friend has a way better, way faster car, but the way he drives is all power, no handling, and I don't know if he has just a straight rear-wheel drive car. This one I am showing you is all-wheel drive. I think all these cars are all-wheel drive. But if you don't like how this car handles, or you don't like how, you know, if it's too slow for you, consider, like, you know, maybe going through trying to find another one. I normally don't do rear-wheel drive tunes. I have a couple. Having said that, I do have a couple, but I prefer to use all-wheel drive cars on online racing just because they're quicker, more forgiving, and yeah. So this car, it's a really good car. It's not the fastest on this list, but if you want to try it, go for it. This list is here to help you guys out, and yeah. The second pick for B class is a truck. It's the 2017 2500 Power Wagon. And I chose this truck because if you're online and you're with your buddies, this is a perfect car to use as, you know, a blocker. I'm not saying, you know, ram people. I'm saying get in the driving line. This truck takes up so much real estate that it's just perfect to, you know, get your buddies the win. And if this was ranked racing, obviously, like, this would be perfect for it. You know, you have one person in a big car blocking everybody out, so your team gets ahead of you, and you're just kind of like the barrier between the two teams. But if you guys are just running like a race, or maybe even a like a tour, if there is a tour, I have to look at the list again, this would be a perfect car to use. This would be a perfect choice to use. This truck is just really good. It has all the power that you need to get out of the corners. It's a little slower, obviously, because it's super heavy, but the power on the straights, its get up and go is just amazing. So if you like racing with trucks, I'd say this is a solid choice. The last pick I have for B class is my personal favorite. It's the 67 Lamborghini Miura P400. And the reason why I'm putting this car on obviously the reason why is because it's freaking amazing. But it is a little slow off the line. But once you get up to speed, you keep that speed. It's very difficult to lose speed unless you hit something with this car, because it just takes the corners pretty much flat out. You don't even have to listen to the braking line half the time, and it's very forgiving. It doesn't spin out as much as some other cars do on this list. And it's honestly one of the most reliable cars I have in B class. Every time I'm racing on B class and online, I'm using this car, and I'm miles ahead of the next guy. So if you're just wanting to win races, well, I mean, everyone wants to win races, right? But if you don't want anybody behind you, or anybody next to you, I should say, this is the car to choose. So here's my A-class rank. And the first car I have is the 02 Skyline GTR. It's not one that I choose for myself, but I see a lot of people that have really fast times with this car. So I made a tune for it. Again, I'm not sure if those tunes are rear-wheel drive or not, but it keeps up with my time on my Shelby Daytona. So I'm putting it on this list. I would prefer using the Shelby Daytona over this car. This one, it's not as forgiving as many other cars on this list. It's kind of all over the place. Like if you don't hit a line right, you're just kind of screwed. It does not want to get back on track. But yeah, if you guys can find another tune that's even better than this, which I'm sure there is, I would say give this car a shot. I mean, I personally love this car. It's like one of my favorite cars in a sense, probably like Need for Speed Underground 2. It's or Underground, the first one. It's just it's a really good car, and I put it on this list because it just handles amazing, has a great top speed, and it gets up to that top speed really fast. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Now, obviously, this car is going to be on this list somewhere. In Forza Horizon 4, it was the best car to use in B-Class dirt. In this one, it's just amazing in A-Class. It's one of my favorite cars to use, and I'm not putting the Bone Shaker on this list, even though it is like probably the fastest car in A-Class dirt, because I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna assume that car's gonna be banned here soon. It was banned in Forza Horizon 4. I think it was even banned in Forza Horizon 3. So I'm not gonna put that car on this list just because I want this list to kind of have some longevity to it. And yeah, I do have a tune for the Bone Shaker if you guys are looking for one. It's not going to be in the description, but it will be. You can follow my Creative Hub. It's on there. This car is the Daytona is up there with the Bone Shaker. I think this car just handles a little bit better than the Bone Shaker does, and half the time, many people that are driving just hit walls all the time. So as long as you're driving clean, you're going to get in front of that Bone Shaker, and there's not much you can do after that. The last car on this list for A-Class is, I think it's an underdog. I think a lot of people overlook this car just because this probably like they don't think of this car as being a good race car or whatever. I don't know. But it's awesome. It's kind of on the same line as the STI, the 209 STI, I think it is. It has an amazing, handling, a great top speed, and honestly, it's just like a super forgiving car. You don't have to like worry about it like getting out of control. Kind of just chuck it into a corner, and it gets up there. I used this car for a very long time, just because I wasn't sure if the Daytona was going to be good in this game, and I just tried it out, and it worked. So yeah, I would say for my top three right here, I would say Daytona, this car, and then crap, what was the first one? The Skyline. I would put those three in my as the rank. So if you don't have the Daytona, which you can get through an accolade, I don't remember which one it is, or if you used your free car, whatever it was, free car pick or car pass, you can get it that way, which is what I did. I didn't want to spend $30 million on it. And yeah, give this car a try if you don't want to use this the Daytona. So now we're in S1. Here's my time. And this car, I put it on the list. I actually had a different car I was going to use, but I put this one on the list because of how bad I got smoked in a race. And I was just like, you know what? Screw the other car. I'm putting this one on here. It is by far like the fastest car. Like probably I wouldn't say by far. It has a better top speed than the Ford GT, which is the next car on the list. And it also handles just a little bit better. In my opinion, it handles a little bit better. I think it's because like you can put like really chunky tires on this thing. It you can chuck it into a corner. It will take it. The only thing is with this car, it feels like a little heavy, like a little boatish for some reason. It's lighter, I think, than the Ford GT, but it just has this quality to it that makes it feel like it's just like sluggish through the corners. But I would say give this car a try, and you won't regret it. Honestly, like it's one of my favorite cars to use. And like I said, the Ford GT is going to be the next car on this list, which is this car, obviously. And what list would it be without this car, honestly? Because for some reason, it's been the best S-Class car you can use in Forza Horizon 4. Don't remember what 3 was, but Forza Horizon 4, you go into a lobby, chock full of these things. They're just everywhere. For me, I always liked using different cars for road racing than this car. But even in Forza Horizon 4, I had this car as my winner dirt build, and it freaking just smashes. It smashes through everything. Like I don't think I have anything bad to say about this car. It's quick through the corners. It's got an amazing top speed. It's definitely a must-have car to use in dirt. Now, last car on this list is a little controversial, I think, because it's not the fastest car. It doesn't have a great top speed, but it holds, like, this is the best car to use if you're on tight tracks or, like, tight corners. Like, anything that has, like, really sharp corners, really, like, long corners that, how do I say this? It rockets past every car that you use that you're going to be using in the corners. This car, you don't even have to listen to the braking lines, really. Like, it's just, you chuck it in and it just goes. It's amazing. I love this car so much. And if you know your tracks, you know which ones are which. You're like, all right, this is going to be a tight corner track. This is the car you're going to want to use. Now, that being said, there's also another car that's kind of like this car. It's the Hoonigan RS200. You can make that into a dirt build. And you could also make that into an S2 build. That car is not on this list, or in any part, because I just do not like how that car handles. It's all over the place. It's very unreliable. And there's probably a tune out there that someone's like, oh yeah, this tune's better than that. But like, hey, I've been messing around with it. I don't like that car. And here's the new time I have for the S1. Into the last section of this video, which is S2. I'm gonna be giving you, this is the first car. This is my replacement for the Hoonigan RS200. It's super quick, just like the RS200. I think this car is technically lighter, and I just like how this car handles. I prefer this car's handling over the RS200. I feel like I can control this one just a bit better. But yeah, it's super fast. It gets up and goes. It's like, that's the best thing about this car, is this acceleration is godlike. It's really good, and you should try it. It's actually, I think, the cheapest car in S2 that I have on this one. I think you can buy it in the auction house or auto show for like $120,000. So if you're struggling for money, this is the car to go. Now, these next two cars, or the last two cars on this list, the 911 GT1 is almost exactly the same as the next car on this list. They both handle just as well, and at this point, it's just like, honestly, like, which car do you like that looks better? Because there's really no difference. They both have this like really long wheel span. That's not right. But they both have like a pretty long like distance between the front and back wheels, which makes them super steady through the corners, and they're both super light that the horsepower just rockets them forward. I actually prefer the second car, this last car coming up, but for a while this was my fastest car on this track, and I was using this car a lot. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think, and leave me a comment if you know a better car that I should test in S2 or any of these classes, honestly, because I'm always looking for better cars. So the last car on this list, and in the video, is the AMG CLK GTR. Now I have two tunes for this thing. I'm showing you this one because this is my favorite one. I have this like weird thing where like all my tunes for me, like I have to have them at like the top of the class, which this one is. It's S2998. The other one is the Forza edition, the CLK Forza edition one, and it gets to S2288 or something like that. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but it's pretty much the exact same car. It has 200 pounds more on this car and 200 horsepower more on this car. So it's like they both handle pretty much exactly the same. One's a little heavier with a little bit more horsepower. There's not much else. I just prefer this car. I use this one almost every single time I enter the game. I always pick this car and just go cruising around. It handles just as good on-road as it does off-road, and I think that's why I like it a lot. It's just super reliable. I love this car. You have to try it if you have it. Forza Edition tune will be in the comment, or not the comments, the description. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, consider giving a like and subscribe. I have a couple new videos I'm going to be putting out here every week. I'm going to start doing a tuned or tuning Tuesdays. I don't know which one I like better yet. So leave a comment of cars you want me to see tuned, and I'll go into like a big, like detailed version of how I tune these cars. And yeah, just give me a comment, which car you want to see, what class, what racing style, if it's drift, if it's whatever, you know. You could also leave your comments in my club. Just join and go into the chat, and you know, any question you have, I'll be happy to answer it. Here's my Creative Hub. Give me a follow for all the up-to-date tunes if you want to see them. Yeah, so on that note, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this video helped you guys out. Be good to each other. I'll catch you later.